everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 10-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. YouTube tells me about 60% of my audience is not subscribed, so if that's you, when you're a returning viewer and you're enjoying the content, if you could just take one moment to hit that subscribe button. And if you're new to the channel, first, welcome, and second, if you do enjoy the content in the video, if you could hit the subscribe button as well, I do greatly appreciate it. A few things before we get into the breakdown. Number one, if you are interested in some future content from me, you can get access to my NBA DFS Patreon package over here. We currently have 11 members. Gotten a lot of good feedback. I offer premium NBA projections, NBA data sheets, player stats, team stats, play context stats, core plays, injury impact insights, and NBA Discord chat access. Things like statistics about which teams are good on offense in transition, which teams are good on defense in transition, projections that factor in things like Vegas lines, spreads, pace, all of that fun stuff. You get DK points per minute, FanDuel points per minute, both DraftKings and FanDuel, minutes projections, all of that fun stuff at an affordable price. I've been playing DraftKings, I've been playing FanDuel since about 2016. These DFS sites, and I have been a member of these other sites where they charge you $30, $40 a month. And I've gone together and put together a package that offers everything that they offer at a much more affordable price. Trying to give back to the DFS community, trying to give you guys a tool that you don't have to pay that $40 a month for, etc. And then I have recently partnered with Thrive Fantasy. You can use promo code KJK DFS on Thrive to receive a 100% deposit match up to $50 when you deposit $20 or more today. And I was able to cash in over there. Again, I've been sharing my lineup every video I'm new to the platform, and I partnered with these guys, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool thing. I want to try this out too. And I've been killing it, and I really like the format. For NBA, for the tournaments they have, you pick 10 out of 20 options. You pick the over or the under. There was no Jason Tatum, so I really liked Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart last night. There was no Aaron Gordon for the Magic, so I really like Nikola Vucevic. And I'm finding that I can really expose these lines based on some news that comes out because, of course, the props are released at the beginning of the slate, and then there's a bunch of news. John Collins, there was no Trae Young or Clint Capella, so I really like the over on him. And then, Damian Lillard, there's no CJ McCollum. He has a lot of responsibility on his play. I went with the over on his line. Melo isn't getting a lot of minutes off the bench, so I went with the under. I'm really enjoying the format. Not to mention, you're only competing against last night there were only 73 people in this tournament. On average, there's about 100 people, so a lot less competition. I was able to come in 13th over there last night to keep the winning streak going. And I highly recommend trying it out. Less competition, cool format. You can take advantage of some late news. I definitely think there's some money to be won. And again, make sure you use that promo code KJK DFS to receive a 100% deposit match up to $50 when you deposit $20 or more. Giving you some free money over there, so take advantage while you can. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and start getting down into the breakdown. First game on the slate, Philadelphia at Detroit. We got Joel Embiid, who is questionable in this one right now. So keep an eye on that one. It looks like he is a true questionable. So if he is out, of course, we're going to like Dwight Howard. We're going to like Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris a lot more. So that would change up the dynamic of this game. Right now, this game comes in with a 7-point spread in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. No over-under yet released, but I kind of tend to think that Embiid will be out if you're asking me my lean, but I mean, that's just me speculating. We really don't know. I just know this Detroit team's been really struggling. Teams have been able to beat them pretty easily recently, so I kind of feel like Embiid's going to sit. And as mentioned, that's going to make me like Ben Simmons a lot more at 8-4. He's going to become more responsible for those rebounds, the distribution, the assists, the points, everything without Embiid out there. I'd like Tobias Harris a lot more. At these guys' price tags, these guys are priced as if Embiid's in, so we can definitely take advantage if he's out. And then, of course, as mentioned, we would play Dwight Howard at 4-2. He becomes a great value play. Gonna need a big body for sure. Gonna take it on this Detroit team who has guys like Jeremiah Grant, A. Mason Plumlee down low. Gonna need a big guy out there to compete with them. Derrick Rose was out last time, so was Blake Griffin. It looks like Derrick Rose will be out again, so that's gonna give a bump up to DeLon Wright, who is currently priced at 5-5. He has seen his price go up a little bit with no Derrick Rose, so interesting value play maybe. He's put up 35, 28 DraftKings points last two times out. He can definitely get you there at 5-5. I mean, there might be some better plays as we go along the slate and faster, more up-tempo games, but you could look to him. Other than that, not really trying to go to anyone in this game outside of maybe a Josh Jackson on the Detroit side, a Blake Griffin. Those would be the two guys I'm really looking to on their side. Josh Jackson's upside has been really limited lately as far as, he was really putting up big performances early on in the season. Lately, he hasn't really been putting up huge points. Blake Griffin, kind of same thing applies to him. He's kind of been struggling, but he could definitely break out at 6'4". I would like him. And just waiting on a big game from him. And, yeah, that's pretty much my extent in this game. Seth Curry would be the last guy I'd mention on the Sixers side because Seth Curry at 5-1 on DraftKings where you get that half-point bonus for three-pointers. We've seen this guy put up, 41, 34, 30, 34 DraftKings points pretty consistently throughout the year. He just came back off an injury. He was a little limited in his conditioning. As he continues to get rolling here, I'm going to have some more interest in him. Toronto taking on Indiana. We get the Domantas Sabonis price at the top in this game at 9-8. This game comes with a 2.5-point spread in favor of the Indiana Pacers. No over-under is released yet. And I would expect this game to have a rather low over-under. Both teams very good defensively. I don't think it's going to be a very fast-paced game, so I think we can make this one pretty quick. I mean, Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon continue to be very good options regardless of pace just because of their extreme usage with no more Victor Oladipo on the team. They are starting to be priced up, more appropriately as to where they were. Malcolm Brogdon would be my favorite of the two just because he's only at 8.5. Domantas Sabonis at 9.8 is worth the price tag if we have all the value in the world on the slate. Not sure that we're going to have the value in. As mentioned, I expect this game to be a rather slow-paced game. The one thing we do have to keep an eye on, though, is Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry are both questionable. After Siakam being held out last game and Lowry being held out, we'll have to keep an eye on that one because if they're out, that's going to make me have a lot more interest in a guy like a Chris Boucher and a guy like a Norman Powell. So those guys would become interesting options for sure, as well as Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet would get a big usage bump, so he'd become a much more viable play as well. If all these guys are in, I'm not really trying to go to anyone on this team. I mean, I know they get really good minutes. Their rotation is very solidified as far as, all these guys get around 40 minutes or so. Upper 30s minutes, which is great. It's just the pace, and they're all priced around the same range in the 8K range, so I think there will be some better options as we move along the slate here. My favorite option would be Chris Boucher at 6'8", just because of his price tag and his upside. We've seen him play 20 minutes the last few times out, but I think that was more so a factor of matchups. But we'll have to see. Maybe they're trimming his minutes down more. But we've seen him get to 40, 48, 37, 46 DraftKings points in upper 20s minutes. So this guy has extreme upside even in limited minutes. Overall, slower paced game. Probably not trying to look there all too much. Charlotte at Orlando. We just saw this game play last night. Right now, the total comes in. There is no over-under, but it's a 1-point spread in favor of the Charlotte Hornets. If Aaron Gordon continues to be out, we're going to continue to like Nikola Vucevic. We're going to continue to like Evan Fournier. And then Gary Clark and Ken Birch had more minutes. Gary Clark had a big game last night for his price tag, so keep an eye on that. Vooch at 8.7, I'm going to continue to like regardless of if Aaron Gordon's in or out. We were paying 9.1 for him last time out, and he saw his price come back down to 8.7. This guy was really popular last night, and he should continue to be popular. I mean, at 8.7, if we don't have any cheaper centers as we go along here, he's a great pay-up option if we're paying cheaper at other positions. As mentioned, if Aaron Gordon's out, I'm going to like him even more. If Aaron Gordon's in, I would love him. He's been playing upper 30 minutes, and after on that minutes limit early in the season, they finally kind of unleashed him. So I'm going to like him a lot. 61, 43, 44 DraftKings points. This guy has a ton of upside for that price tag, and I'm not worried about the Charlotte front court. It's a great matchup for him. And then Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier continues to see starter minutes as well. Mid-30 minutes, good production. He got priced up to 6'3", is the only thing I don't like. It's a little unfortunate because we were getting him in the upper 5K range. So buyer beware there. His price tag is rising. And then, Gary Clark, after that big game last night, he continues to be only 3K. He played 35 minutes and put up 24 DraftKings points. If he's minimum salary, he's getting like mid-30 minutes with no Aaron Gordon. You got to like him. On the Charlotte side, Gordon Hayward is the number one priority at 7.3. This guy continues to see upper 30s in minutes, 38, 37, 38, getting a ton of minutes, and he's priced down at 7.3. He was priced up at 7.8, 7.7, and 7.5, and for some reason his price tag has gone down, which is just going to make me like him even more. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, same rule applies to them. These guys are the ones getting all the minutes. 38, 39, 38 minutes the last 3 times out. So it makes sense to be playing these guys. Sometimes they kind of take a backseat in usage, though. The usage is a little unpredictable, but the minutes are there. So it makes sense to be playing them. LaMelo Ball, I'm going to continue to fade at 6'9". I think he's just too priced up for his current role with this team. He could probably get, 30, 40 DraftKings points. That's great and all, but I'd rather pay for another guy that's around the same price tag. That's a starter, guaranteed minutes, guaranteed usage. And yeah, that's pretty much my breakdown in this one. Miami at Brooklyn. We got the big three for Brooklyn now. This game's expected to be fast-paced, and I will say that this Brooklyn team's looking like a great one to target early on. Even though they have the big three, they're not playing a lot of defense. So a 234.5 over-under right now and a 7.5-point spread in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero are out. Goran Dragic is listed as questionable, but he looks like he's more so probable. So with no Jimmy Butler, with no Tyler Hero, I'm going to really like these guards on Miami in this fast tempo game. I'm going to really like Goran Dragic, Kendrick Nunn. They're my favorite two options. Duncan Robinson is interesting as well. I mean, Kendrick Nunn's definitely my favorite option out of the group. This guy's been absolutely killing it in his role with getting more minutes on the team. Duncan Robinson can get you hot. He can get hot from behind the three-point arc and get you a lot of DraftKings points real quick if he does get hot, but Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, a lot more on-ball responsibility, a lot more assist upside, a lot more points upside. Easier. It's possible for Robinson to get there, but I'd rather be looking at Nunn and Dragic. And then, as far as the wings are concerned, you got Andre Iguodala, Achiuwa, but these guys are playing kind of limited minutes. They're kind of just dispersed around. Like I said, I really just have interest in the guards. Gabe Vincent is looking like he's probable. But he's only been playing around 20 minutes a game, dealing with some knee soreness. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's Kendrick Nunn, it's Goran Dragic for me, it's Bam Adebayo if you're paying up, and it's Kelly Olynyk. These four guys are really the ones I'm going to want to be having a lot of exposure to. More so the two guards and Bam Adebayo than Kelly Olynyk. We've kind of seen him fade out a little bit, but I don't know. That might be good for his ownership. Kelly Olynyk, a very good fantasy point per minute producer as far as DraftKings is concerned. Just only seeing 22 minutes. They haven't been playing some small ball, so that's a little concerning. Probably won't be playing him too much because of it. On the Brooklyn side, you got Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, all priced up. Personally, the way I've been approaching this is James Harden and Kyrie Irving are kind of biting into each other's usage as far as on-ball handling duty. So when they are both in, when James Harden continues to be priced up like this, I am going to prefer Kyrie Irving at $9K because of the pricing discount. I think that these guys are kind of hurting each other more so than Kevin Durant. I'm going to prefer Kevin Durant every single time out on this team over these two guys because he is the forward, the big guy down low, so to speak. He's getting a lot of action in the low post as far as one-on-one post-ups, whereas James Harden and Kyrie Irving are kind of trading opportunities to be on-ball handlers. So I'd rather get the discount on Kyrie Irving down $1,200 and play him. As far as the rest of the Brooklyn team, I'm not even going to go there. Not really interested in playing anyone. I mean, you could play DeAndre Jordan, you could play Jeff Green. Those are the two guys that are getting most of the usage in minutes along with this new Big Three setup. So feel free to play them. You could play Joe Harris, but I think the second unit's a little too evenly dispersed, a little too appropriately priced. I'd rather look elsewhere. Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both questionable, as they are every game. I would expect them both to play unless we see something else, another update that one of them is really doubtful. 215 over under 10.5 point spread in favor of the Los Angeles Lakers. Going to be a very slow paced game. Cleveland has not been a very good team as far as being one of the top teams in the league for quite some time now. However, I will say they've been pretty good defensively this year, and so are the Los Angeles Lakers, so it's like I'm not really all trying to go here too much. You could play the LeBron James narrative of returning to Cleveland. His former team, that's where he initially became the king. He became known as one of the great ones in Cleveland, so if you want to play that narrative, going back to Cleveland and putting up a big game, I guess you could go there. But other than that, honestly, I'm really not interested in anyone in this game. Everyone's priced pretty appropriately for their role in this game. This game's going to be really good defensively, going to be slow pace. Not really wanting to waste much time on that one for you guys. Denver at Dallas. Nikola Jokic comes in at 10-8. Luka Doncic comes in at 10-7. Excited for this one. This one's going to be a fun game to watch. 222.5 over under with a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. And we're really just worried about games staying close with both of these teams as far as who we're targeting. And we know exactly who we're targeting. We're targeting Nikola Jokic and we're targeting Luka Doncic. Both of these guys are ridiculous DK point per minute producers. So far in the season, Nikola Jokic is putting up 1.69 DK points per minute. Luka Doncic is putting up 1.64 points per minute. Both are going to get around 40 minutes, a lot of usage. Absolutely love both of these guys. If we do have enough value open up on the slate to where I can be playing both of these guys in my lineups, I would love that because this game's going to stay close. We know exactly where the ball's going at all times with these two. Would love them. Kristaps Porzingis continues to play around low 30s minutes at 8.2. He could definitely get you there, but it's just kind of tough to be paying that when we could be paying, like low 7K range for a guy like Gordon Hayward, who I mentioned earlier, who's getting 40 minutes a game. I'd rather be going there. And then the rest of this game is pretty evenly dispersed, especially with Dallas getting healthier. Tim Hardaway Jr. is expected to be back. We're expected to get, more of an even. I will say Tim Hardaway Jr. is actually an interesting option if he's not going to be limited. Because he could get a lot more shot volume than it's expected with no Richardson and Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber, as well as Dwight Powell. On the wing, he could be an interesting dart play in tournaments, so maybe play some of him. Jalen Brunson continues to be an interesting option, playing around 30 minutes a game on this team as a value play, but he is priced up at 4.7 now, and he has to get you there. And then with Dallas getting a little more healthy, I don't know. All these guys just feel like kind of even plays for me. Same rule kind of applies on the Denver side. We were playing a lot of Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Paul Millsap with no Michael Porter Jr. for a while there, but Michael Porter Jr. is back. He'd probably be the one I'd be preferred to play outside of Nikola Jokic. You could play Jamal Murray, who has a lot of on-ball handling duties as well. Just at 7-1, I kind of think his upside's capped out at like 40 DraftKings points, so I'd rather be playing a Michael Porter Jr., and that's pretty much my breakdown in this one. You're playing Nikola Jokic, you're playing Luka Doncic. Hopefully we get a bunch of value. I would love playing both of them against each other, both top DK points per minute producers this season, so that'd be fun. Boston taking on Chicago. Jason Tatum is questionable. Whether he plays or not is going to impact this game quite a bit. It's an 8-point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics right now. And Tatum is expected to play. So that's going to be his first action since January 8th. I would expect that he's somewhat limited. Maybe he plays like 30 minutes, and that's fine, but he's priced up at 8-9, so probably not looking to go there. Jaylen Brown, probably not looking to go there either with Jason Tatum returning. That's going to hurt his usage. Kemba Walker is out, so you know what? I'm going to kind of say, with Jason Tatum coming back off an injury and Kemba Walker being out, we're going to like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown pretty much just as much as we did earlier with Tatum out because Kemba's out. So I think Tatum's going to be limited, so we can play some Jaylen Brown, we can play some Marcus Smart and feel really good about that, actually. Which actually excites me because I've really been enjoying playing these two guys. Last night on Thrive Fantasy, as I mentioned, I really liked the play prop, and I really liked them on DraftKings as well, with that usage bump, for sure. And then on the Chicago side, it's pretty simple. You're playing Zach LaVine, you're playing Kobe White, you're playing Lauri Markkanen. Zach LaVine has seen his price tag dip all the way down to 8.6, which is perfect because they're going to need his services to keep them in this game. Of course, Boston isn't exactly the easiest matchup, taking on probably the defensive Marcus Smart, but Zach LaVine's upside is just too high to not be playing him in the spot when his price tag's dipping. Kobe White, 7.3, could be playing same thing, kind of a difficult matchup, but. And then Lauri Markkanen at 6.5 continues to be a pretty good play. We're just waiting on him to have a big upside game. With no Wendell Carter Jr., he's been an even better play. If Wendell Carter Jr. is back, which he's looking like he's doubtful, I'm going to continue to like Lauri Markkanen. Peyton Pritchard did get hurt as well, and he's been out. So Jeff Teague is an interesting value option at 3.7 with no Kemba Walker. This guy's been really dreadful, to be honest. Has been really bad. But all it takes is one good game, and this could be the one where he steps up. You could maybe play some Javonte Green, but it seems like you're getting a little cute there. And that's pretty much, that's everyone I'd be looking to in this one. You're playing Zach LaVine, you're playing Jaylen Brown, you're playing Marcus Smart. Those are the main three beneficiaries in this one. You could look to a Thad Young with no Wendell Carter Jr., but his minutes upside has been pretty limited. His upside overall has been pretty limited. You could play a Tristan Thompson on the Boston side, but he's sharing minutes with like Daniel Tice and stuff. I'm not all too interested in anyone else in this game. That's pretty much the wrap up there. New Orleans at San Antonio. This game comes in right now with a a 2.5 point spread. No over/under has been released yet, and this game I'm anticipating to not exactly be the highest total. And guys are priced pretty appropriately. Once again, a game I think I can just kind of skip over here. We got Brandon Ingram priced up at $8K. He's been having a hard time getting there at his price tag. Zion Williamson 7.9, DeMar DeRozan 7.7, Keldon Johnson. Both these teams are completely healthy. Both these teams have pretty deep rotations. New Orleans just throwing minutes to Ingram, Zion, Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. On the San Antonio side, you got DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, Rudy Gay, Patty Mills. Both are kind of the same rules. If you're asking me to pick one guy to play in this game based on his price tag and based on his usage, it would be DeJounte Murray on the San Antonio side at 6.5 with the price in the mid-6K range. We've seen this guy consistently putting up 40-plus DraftKings points. He does make a lot of sense as a play, and he would be my favorite option from this game. So I'll be playing some DeJounte Murray if you need to. Moving further along, Minnesota at Golden State. Excited for this one. 9-2 is Steph Curry. This game comes in with a 225.5 over/under with an 8.5 point spread in favor of the Golden State Warriors. So the only concern is Golden State blowing out Minnesota in this one. But Golden State's not exactly the best team. I'm hoping that D'Angelo Russell is in. He is questionable. I think he's going to be in, and if he's in, I'm going to love him taking on his former team in Golden State. That's a little bit of a narrative for you. I'd like Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell a lot in this one, similar to the Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic run back that I mentioned earlier. This would be another one of my favorite run backs. Play Steph Curry, play D'Angelo Russell. Both these guys are expected to be the top dogs in both of their offense. We know they're going to get the usage. Love both of those guys, especially with no Karl-Anthony Towns. D'Angelo Russell is going to continue to be leaned on very heavily. Malik Beasley. You could be playing as well with no Cat, around 6'6". He's an interesting option. And then Draymond Green on Golden State at 5'2" is an interesting option as well. If this guy can get back up around 30 minutes, we've seen this guy put up 30-plus DraftKings points. He is only 5'2". A little bit of a sketchy option going there, considering he's not much of a good shooter in DraftKings, so you do really need some shooting. And that's pretty much, my overall interest. Once again, after that, these rotations kind of fade out real quickly. Andrew Wiggins, you can be looking to. He's got a little bit of a revenge narrative as well. At 6'5", he makes a lot of sense taking on this Minnesota team. Minnesota has been dreadful defensively, so I really like targeting them. Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins makes sense to add some guys that might see a little more upside than they typically would see in this matchup. So it makes a lot of sense to be playing them. I would have interest in playing them and Steph Curry. And then as mentioned, I'm playing D'Angelo Russell. I'm playing Malik Beasley. Maybe playing some Naz Reid, maybe playing some James Wiseman, and that's pretty much the extent of my interest in this one. Both these guys make sense. Playing the big man role in their offense. You could play Ricky Rubio at 5'1", but once again, not exactly the top scorer and playing limited minutes. So I think I'm going to keep my interest to Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre type of deal, Naz Reid, James Wiseman. Top price guys in this game, getting the most usage in minutes. Oklahoma City taking on Portland. Damian Lillard comes in at a 10-3 price tag. This game comes in with a 5.5 point spread in favor of the Portland Trailblazers, and I would anticipate this game not to have the highest over/under. Could continue to play Damian Lillard with no CJ McCollum. This guy's going to continue to get a bunch of usage, but he is priced up at 10-3, and he has to take on the defense of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Not exactly ideal. Shai Gilgeous, I'm going to have interest in at 8-1. Continues to be the main top dog in this offense, but he is priced up a bunch. I mean, we could be playing like a guy like a DeJounte Murray, who I already mentioned earlier in the video, at like 6'5" instead of this guy at 8'1". Enes Kanter at 6'6" continues to see his price tag increase. Honestly, he becomes an easy fade for me, considering he's been barely struggling to put up like 25 DraftKings points. Not looking to go there, and not really looking to go to anyone in this game. Al Horford is questionable, so if he continues to be out, we could play Isaiah Roby, we could play Mike Muscala maybe, but really just playing Isaiah Roby, honestly. He'd be the only one I'd be playing on this one. He's an interesting value play for sure. Put up 30 DraftKings points last time out, getting all the minutes. He makes a lot of sense, but other than that, Mike Muscala is a guy I was trying to play for a while there. It's just not working out. They're not getting him the minutes. I'm not playing him anymore, so that boat's done. And that's pretty much my overall breakdown for this 10-game slate. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Gordon Hayward. I had a lot of interest in this guy last night. Same matchup tonight. He's priced up in the high 7K range. 7.8, 7.8, 7.7, and 7.5 is what we've been paying for this guy. He's now priced all the way down to 7.3. It was easy for me to play him before. It's going to be even easier for me to click that button now. Seeing 38, 37, 38 minutes the last 3 times out. It is a back-to-back, but with the price tag factored in, I'm not too concerned about it. We've seen this guy be playing these consistent minutes all season long, playing one back-to-back so far this season where he put up 38 minutes in the first game and 36 minutes in the second game. I do think he's going to continue to see these high minutes, and I absolutely do love him at this 7.3 price tag. So Gordon Hayward is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Gordon Hayward, get him in your lineups. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. And then don't forget to check out my Patreon package if you're interested in some further content from me. Link below in the description. Bunch of good stuff going on there. Projections, chat with me all the way up to lock, ask me questions, and stats sheets. I mean, the list goes on and on. Injury impact insights. Been working real hard on that to try to provide you guys with some value at an affordable price. And definitely excited about the ones that have joined. If you haven't joined and you're interested, check that out. And lastly, check out Thrive Fantasy. Use promo code KJK DFS to receive a 100% deposit match instantaneously when you sign up using the promo code KJK DFS. Links below in the description. Thrive Fantasy. Check them out. Really enjoying it. Competition's easier. Not as much sharks out there. Less large-sized player pools. Definitely some money to be had. So that is all from me. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.